Hey, gamer friends, I'm Danielle,
And I'm Josiah.
and we are
We're
ready to roll.
Today we're going to be talking about our most played games of last year.
Yeah, so we looked at our statistics over last year, and we had 620 in person plays. Our H index, for those of you who know what that is, was 13. It looked like we had 22 games above 10 plays each.
Okay. And then explain for everyone who doesn't know what an H index is.
Okay, an H index means we played 13 games at least 13 times. So your H index is just whatever that is. So if you played 5 games 5 times, that's what your H index is.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the way that we did this is I looked up all of our stats that we've kept track of over the year, and then it was whichever games that we played the most. However, there were a few kind of exceptions to that. Like we combined all of our dice thrown plays into one or anything like that. Like if we played different sets of unmatched, we would put them all together and that would count as those plays. And so when you hear our list, just know that it could have been a range of different games, but they all fall under that same category.
So our number 10 game is actually 3 games. Scout, the Initiative, and Air, Land, and Sea. They all tied for the same amount of plays, and they were all of our number 10.
Yeah, so each one of those had 14 plays each. Scout, if you don't know, is a small card game, and it is absolutely so much fun. So you are dealt a hand of cards, and you cannot change the order of the cards in your hand.
Right.
And so you're trying to make runs, you're trying to make sets and play those, and other people can take cards from ones that you've played so that they can make a better hand and play. It's just a lot of fun. And so we were able to play that quite a few times this last year.
Yep. And the Initiative is a game where it's kind of like a legacy game.
Yeah, it's like a one-time playthrough.
One-time playthrough, but you can reset it.
Yes.
That's what do they call it? Evergreen legacy?
Something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, it's sort of a game inside of a game. There's a magazine, not a magazine, a comic book.
Yes. And you're playing kids that are playing characters in a game.
Right.
So it's kind of a
sort of Inception.
Inception, yeah. It's game Inception.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like maybe the Unlock series or Escape Room, but not really. It's just kind of has like there's some word puzzles and stuff, but then there's also card play and you're moving around a board, and it's so much fun. I really liked that one.
It's a really good game. And then the last number 10 is Air, Land, and Sea. And this is one of my favorite games that we own. It's a game where there are 3 theaters of play, Air, Land, and Sea, and it's military themed. And you are dealt a hand of 6 cards. With those 6 cards, you have to solve the puzzle of how am I going to win 2 out of the 3 theaters with these cards. Each card has a different mechanism or effect that it does when laid down, and there's some there's some shenanigans that can be had, and it's just so good.
Yeah, it's a really fun card game. And so that's our number 10, all 3 of those: Scout, the Initiative, and Air, Land, and Sea.
Yep.
Our number 9 game was Decorum. Decorum we played 15 times.
Yep.
And Decorum is a deduction game. You're given the same puzzle, but it's the different sides of the puzzle, basically. And you have maybe I want a green lamp in a blue room, and you're like, absolutely not, I hate green lamps.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me why you hate green lamps. And so we're trying to agree on the decor of this house. And so there's a deduction element that's going on there, and you work together to try and figure it out.
Yeah, and there's generally, I think, only one way to solve the puzzle that satisfies both people's parameters.
Yes, what's on their card.
Yeah, and so you have to figure out how can I make mine work and whatever she's trying to get done. It's just really fun. It's a very puzzly deduction game.
Yeah, and you're only allowed to be like, I like that, or I do not like that. Like, so you're not really allowed to say why or anything like that. So yeah, it's really good.
It is.
So that's number 9, Decorum.
Yeah, our number 8 game is Cascadia, and we played it 16 times. Cascadia is one of my favorite games that we have. It's so good. It's a tile placement game. You are drafting tiles, land tiles, and animal tokens. And you have to place them in a certain array or meet certain conditions to score. And those conditions are laid out before the game starts. It's just a super chill, relaxing game where you are building out your habitat. Yeah. And so it's so good. It's so fun. And I love this game.
Yeah, I still love Cascadia.
So that is our number 8, Cascadia.
Our number 7 game was Pandemic. We had 17 plays. And I think that this had so many plays because we had received an expansion early on in the year. And so we had played it several times, like with that new expansion, like trying to figure out how to play. Like it wasn't really, it was kind of an alternative play. And so that was really fun. We enjoyed doing that. We do love Pandemic. And like I said, this is one of those games that it was like whatever version of Pandemic, it counted as part of those plays. I think most people know what Pandemic is. It's just a cooperative game. You're mitigating the disease, trying to eradicate diseases. Great, great game.
Yep.
That's our number 7, Pandemic.
Our number 6 game was Dice Throne. We played it 21 times. And now this is across all the different Dice Thrones that we have. We had a lot of fun this last year playing Dice Throne. We got a bunch of different characters and got to play through a bunch of those. It's just a great game.
It is. It's a really good game. I feel like it's easy to jump into, and then depending on the characters you play, some are a little bit more complicated than others, but some of them are super easy to play and they're just fun. Yeah. It's just fun to throw a bunch of dice.
Yeah, and then see what you can come up with. Yeah, so that was our number 6, Dice Throne.
Number 5 is Boop, and Boop had 23 plays. Boop is just, we've talked about it before on the channel. It's a really simple to learn game. You have little kittens that you're putting out on a quilt, and they boop other kittens around. You're trying to get 3 in a row to get cats. And then when you get 3 cats in a row, you win the game. Simple, yet really, really hard. We've talked about that. It's really hard for me to win, but I do love Boop.
Yeah. It's gamer's chess.
It is gamer's chess for sure. Yeah. I think it even says a game for thinky cats or something like that on it. It's cute.
Yeah.
Our number 5, Boop.
Our number 4 is Marvel Champions. And Marvel Champions, we had 24 plays. So just edged out Boop. We've talked about Marvel Champions. We actually just did a video about Marvel Champions.
And what we think of it 5 years later. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out.
Check it out. Yeah, so Marvel Champions is a deck construction CCG, collectible card game. You pick a superhero, you build a deck for them, and then you fight the villains. And it's really fun. We both, I think, rated this game an A. We think really highly of it.
Yeah, I absolutely love Marvel Champions. I love all the different heroes. I love all the different villains. I think it's a great game. So it's not surprising that it was so high up on our most played of last year.
Yeah. So number 4, Marvel Champions.
Our number 3 was Sea Salt and Paper. Sea Salt and Paper is that tiny little card game. So some of these have lots of plays because they're just so easy to get to the table. They're easy to play with lots of different people. And this is one of those games because you can take it anywhere and play it with so many people. And we did. And it's a set collection game. That's basically what it is. You draw a card on your turn, and then you can sometimes do things with it. Once you get to 7 points, you can end the game if you want to. It's just such a great game.
It is.
Oh, by the way, we had 33 plays of Sea Salt and Paper.
Yeah,
this
so
year.
there was a big jump between Marvel Champions and Sea Salt
There
and Paper.
was. All right, that was our number 3, Sea Salt and Paper.
And our number 2 game is The Crew Mission Deep Sea. We had 46 plays of this game, so another big jump. This is a small box card game where you are working cooperatively as a team, doing trick taking to resolve missions that are presented to you. There's a book where you can work through it. It gets increasingly more difficult. It's really fun. It's another one of those where you kind of have to work together, but you can't really talk about it.
Yeah. I really like how they have a way that you can give like a tiny bit of information to your fellow players, but that's really all you're allowed to do. And it kind of is like, here's a little helpful hint, but you don't know exactly everything that's going on. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great game. And that is our number 2, The Crew.
And our number 1 most played game of last year was Sky Team. Sky Team is that popular 2-player game. We had 49 plays of Sky Team last year. We've actually only played it as me being the pilot and him being the co-pilot, because we wanted to play through all of the scenarios like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so fun. You're rolling dice behind your shield, and then together you're working on landing a plane.
Right.
And so you have to place your die that you rolled in certain ways and in certain areas to kind of try and communicate, because you can't communicate after you've rolled your dice. Mm-hmm. And then it throws up different challenges throughout, like different scenarios have things that they add to it to make it harder.
Yep.
And it's so much fun. It is so much fun. It was such a surprise game.
It was.
But I'm so glad that we played through it, and I had a blast with it.
Yeah, you get it out on the table, and you're like, this looks like a okay game, mm-hmm. but it's really surprising how much fun it is, mm-hmm. and how it kept us engaged, mm-hmm. for a long periods of time, multiple plays.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a really good game.
Yeah. So that was our number 1 Sky Team. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
And tell us down below in the comments, what was your most played game last year? We would love to hear about it.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.